Hi, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. I'm sorry to not be with you today, but I'm going to go over with you the background on the book that we will be starting tomorrow. So, this book is called Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. This is one of the covers of the book, and it's by this woman. The author is Eleanor Kerr, and it was written in the 1970s. So this story is about a real girl named Sadako Sasakai. This is a picture of her. She's a real girl who lived in Japan. And the crane, just to understand, crane is a type of bird. This is a picture of the real crane. And when they're talking about paper cranes, they mean something like this. That's made with a Japanese paper folding called origami. You might have heard of it. Okay, so as I said, Sadako is a real person. She was born in a city called Hiroshima in the country of Japan, which is in Asia, in 1943. So when Sadako was born, something very big was happening in the world. So from 1939 to 1945, there was what was called a world war. It was World War II. And this map kind of shows all the different countries that were a part of the war. So this is why it was called a world war, because every country that is in a color was fighting in the war. So tons and tons of countries were fighting. And they were kind of two different sides. There was the Allies, which are the blue and the green. And there was what was called the Axis powers, which are the black. So mostly it was started by like Germany, but there's some other countries like Italy that were involved on the black. And then Russia is this big red country here. They started off the war on the black side, but later in the war switched to the blue and the green side. Okay, so that was World War II. And during this war, many, many people died. 70 to 85 million people. This war went on for, you can see, 6 years. And many people were fighting in their country's military, so fighting in the army, and many of them died. There was also many people, what we call civilians, who were just living in their cities, living in their towns, and the war came there. So they died either through bombings or being killed by armies. So many people died during this war. Here you can see this is Japan, all the way over here, where Sadako was born. So at the end of the war, remember the war ended in 1945, Japan was still fighting against the United States. And what the United States decided to do was to drop what is called an atomic bomb on 2 cities in Japan. So atomic bombs are very, very powerful bombs. They have never been used again. They are so, so powerful that they can kill many people instantly. So on August 6th, 1945, the United States Army took a plane and dropped this big, huge bomb onto the city of Hiroshima, right here. And then a few days later, on August 9th, they took another plane and dropped another big bomb on the city of Nagasaki. And that ended the war. The Japanese said, "We don't want to fight anymore." This is a picture from the sky of what it looked like. The bomb was so powerful, so strong, that it caused this huge explosion, and all of this air came up into the sky. So this is very sad, what happened. So about 80,000 people died as soon as the bomb hit in the city of Hiroshima, and 2/3 of the city was destroyed right away, like within seconds. And then about 40,000 people died in Nagasaki when the bomb was dropped. So this is a picture that shows this is what the city of Hiroshima looked like before the bomb, and this is after. You can see that almost all of these houses and buildings were just completely gone. And very sadly, the people living in those houses and homes also died. So after the atomic bombs went off, they killed many people who were living close to where the bomb went off. Thousands of people. But what also happened is the bomb went off, and then it released like heat and what we call radiation. So that went through the air, and that led to more people who did not live really close to where the bomb went off to get burns on their body, and it hurts the cells in their body. You've been learning with Miss Wagner about cells, and you know that inside our body we have all of these different cells. So this radiation actually like hurt those cells. So people would not die right away from this, but it often led to them getting sick, either then or many years later. So this is a story of a person who survived Hiroshima. So we're just going to watch this video.
When I was young, I lived in the town of Saka near Hiroshima with my mother, father, brothers, and sisters. Our house was right by the ocean. I enjoyed watching the sunset, picking flowers, and exploring the village. Sometimes I would climb to the top of trees so I could see the beautiful ocean glittering in the sunshine. My best friend Hitoshi would wait for me under the tree, and we would spend hours chatting about our hopes for the future. I liked him a lot, so when he told me he wanted to be a writer when he grew up, I replied, "I will be a poet then." The morning of the bomb was just like any other. I remember Mom was at home and I was getting ready to walk to work at Ministry of Communications in Hiroshima. Because so many young men were away fighting in the war, there weren't enough people to do all the jobs. So children like me were made to leave school and go to work instead.
That's the bomb being dropped.
I was standing by a window on the third floor when I saw a powerful flash. I thought the sun had fallen down in front of my eyes. In a split second, I saw rainbow-colored rays everywhere. That was the moment the bomb exploded. I must have lost consciousness because when I woke up, I wasn't by the window and I realized I hurt my head. Somehow I got up and started heading outside. A woman helped me walk to the hospital. Our city was completely destroyed, and on the way I noticed how there were no buildings, no cats or dogs, even birds or butterflies. There were just people wandering around in a daze, covered in ash. At some point the next day, I woke up. I really missed my mom, so I headed across town. But fires were still burning all around, so I had to be careful. Close to home, I saw 3 people approaching me. "Is that really you?" one of them screamed. It was my mother, my older sister, and my aunt. Sadly, my brother didn't make it. He was badly hurt and died. It all seemed like a dream. I just couldn't understand what had happened. I left Hiroshima in my 20s. For years, I couldn't even talk about the bomb, but my family persuaded me to share my story. Then I became a poet just like I discussed all those years ago with Hitoshi. I never dreamed it would actually happen. Because of the radiation from the bomb, I've suffered many health problems like bad headaches and tiredness. But doctors in Tokyo have been looking after me. I got married and I have 3 sons of my own. I also have 4 grandchildren. I speak to them as much as I can. Despite everything, I don't hate the people who dropped the bomb. I can say I was able to witness how wonderful humans can be after losing everything. But I will never forgive the fact that humans dropped an atomic bomb on other humans.
To see more Newsround videos like this, check out the Newsround website.
All right, so that is a story of a real person who was there, as a young girl when the bomb dropped. And hopefully, from seeing the video, you can kind of understand a little bit more about what it was like. And I want to talk about, Sadako was a baby when the bomb dropped. She was only like a year and a half years old. Oops, sorry. So the story is about her life. And this I'm going to read to you is the prologue of the book. Pro meaning before, so prologue is what comes at the very beginning of the book. It's not a part of the story, but it's like almost a note from the author telling you something. So this is what the prologue says. Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes is based on the life of a real little girl who lived in Japan from 1943 to 1955. So this is her right here. She was in Hiroshima when the United States Air Force, so this is like part of the military, the army, dropped an atom bomb on that city in an attempt or trying to end World War II. 10 years later, she died as a result of radiation from the bomb. So because she was there, when the bomb went off, she got some of that radiation that came out from the bomb. Like the survivor was saying, she would get headaches and not feel well. So the radiation made her sick, and we'll learn more about it as we read the book. But her courage, so her bravery, made Sadako a heroine to children in Japan. And this is the story of Sadako. So we're going to read about her life. I think you'll really like the book. Of course, it is about something sad, but also something really important and how people can be very strong and brave, even when things are very hard or unfair. So what I would like you to do is, after reading that, I want you to go over to Schoology, and you will see in our ELA class at the very top is a discussion post that says Monday 410 Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes discussion post. You're going to click on that. And I have 2 questions for you, okay, that I want you to answer. So when you're ready to answer, you click here and you type your answer. So number 1, It says Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes is a book about an event and person from the past. So it is about someone from the past. What genre is it? Is it realistic fiction, science fiction, mystery, humor, historical fiction, fairy tale, fable, or legend? You're going to write your answer here. So you're going to say number 1, Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. Oops. Is, and then tell me, is it realistic fiction, fairy tale, historical, mystery? You tell me, okay? And then number 2 is, what is one question you have about what you learned in the video? So something you want to know more about, something you're wondering. It could be about Sadako, it could be about Japan, it could be about the atomic bombs or World War II. So you might ask, why did the United States drop the atomic bombs? You might ask, how did Sadako get sick? Or, have atomic bombs been used before, like after this? What happened to Sadako's family? Any question that you have, something that you started to think about as you watched that video, I'd like you to write a question and then post it. And that is all that you need to do for today, okay? I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And don't forget that you can get 5 dojo points for doing well today with your guest teacher. So answer the question, and then if you have more time, you can do more independent reading or imagine learning. Okay? See you tomorrow. Bye.